have a quick question.
Hello.
I have a question for the brother on the end. What is his name?
It's chaotic.
Agent of Chaos.
Where are your parents from?
You know what? I'm so tired of answering that question.
Why?
That's a private question. I'm so tired of answering that question because what
Why are
does it
you
matter?
tired of answering it? I've asked it to you one
I'm tired
time.
of everybody asking me that question. Like, what does that question mean?
It means a lot.
Okay,
I'm just simply asking, what is your background? I don't understand.
Okay. What's the question?
Why are you defensive? And I've asked you one question.
Because I get that question so many times on Black panels.
Why do you think that Black people ask you that question?
I have no idea why. You know what? This is what I love about white people. They don't infringe upon my rights.
I'm going to interrupt you right there because
I know because that's what Black people do.
One thing that I do know is that your parents are definitely not from America. So this is the problem that I'm having. I would not go to your country and try to tell you what it is and what it is not. If we are here, we've been here our whole lives, our parents are here. You cannot now come here and then say and gaslight us and say that
you wouldn't walk down the back alley with two Negroes behind you. Keep it real.
And that we don't get mistreated in the justice system because you had a job at a courthouse. It just is unintelligent and it's disingenuous.
You would not walk.
So you can always count on my channel to have those uncomfortable conversations that everyone is thinking, but people are too scared to say. So let's begin. The other day on my community tab, I had posted, you ever notice that the colorism conversations online regarding the Black African American FBA community are always being ran by African and Caribbean women? Never African American women, parentheses, ADOS women. They love to take that microphone and speak for African American women in the Black community. Very interesting, but I'll save my thoughts to myself, which I'm not. You should have known I wasn't going to. And before I begin, let me make myself clear by going over some vocabulary terms for the ones that are dedicated to misunderstanding me, but they know what I mean when I say Black or African American. I am referring to this on the screen. Let's read. American descendants of slavery. And another term for that is called foundational Black Americans. Shout out to I Am Over It. What this means is I'm talking about the Black African Americans whose history revolved around slavery. If you or your parents are immigrants, you are not who I am referring to when I use the term Black or African American in this video, okay? You have an entirely different culture from ADOSs and FBAs. Okay, glad we're clear and we're understood now. So continuing with what I said in my community post tab, I also said, and yes, I separate myself from them. Why? Because they separated themselves first. You know, they're always separating themselves. Well, they pick and choose. And that's what I said. I said they pick and choose because when it comes to crying about colorism, then they want to blend in with the Black African American community. We aren't the same. It's two entirely different cultures. They make sure to acknowledge that when they look down on Black people. So I just started reciprocating energy and agreeing and doing the same. It's all love though. I love everyone, but nobody's exempt from conversations on my channel. If you think you are, you can exit. I don't kiss behinds. So before I start this video, I just want to say I'm not blaming anyone for colorism because I posted this on my community tab and then the dense people in the comment section were explaining colorism's origins. That's not what I'm saying here, okay? I already know. It's common sense. It came from slavery. Thank you for mansplaining. But we already know that. Because what I said is undeniable. It's a matter of fact. If you have eyeballs, you can see these conversations online are being ran by those types of people. And so what happens when you speak facts is that people tend to deflect from what you're actually talking about. It's called whataboutism. It is a tactic that people use when you're making great arguments. And this person is unintelligent because they don't know how to comprehend, and yet they're throwing jabs at me, little slick stuff that I can catch easily. And this is what a lot of them tend to do to African Americans is, oh, well, if you knew your history, if you knew where you're from. And my comeback to that, you know, she came for me first. I know where I'm from. Me and my family are from here, America. How about you? Oh, am I not allowed to say that? Oh, my bad, guys. Sorry. But people can talk crazy to us all day long, but if we clap back, we're in the wrong. In 2024, that comment no longer applies because African Americans, we have our own culture that actually influences the entire world, to be honest. I mean, hey, she accused me of not knowing my history. She just assumed. They are constantly doing backhanded stuff to African Americans to belittle them. I don't know why. You know, they come to our country and disrespect us. They ask little things like, where are your roots? Like, you know, where are you really from? Okay, I'll tell you where I'm really from. Okay, so my dad is born in Bakersfield, California. My mom is from Louisiana. I was born in Oakland, California. But for my mom's side of the family, like my grandma and so on, they came from like St. Louis, Missouri. And I know for my dad's side of the family, all of his history, his family history, resides in Bakersfield, California. That's where all of his family is at. So yeah, how about you though? So yeah, that's my history. It's very interesting how you assumed that I didn't know my own history. I wonder why you would bring that up. Backhanded much? I told you guys I sound all nice, sweet, and innocent, but I have a savage side, and when you go low, I'm going straight to hell. So feel free to unsubscribe and don't let the door hit you on your way out. So I had a lot of that in the comment section, but let's actually stick to the topic here of how it's always non-African Americans speaking for African Americans online. Okay, let's stick to the topic. When you look at the ones that have the microphone when it comes to colorism conversations, or the ones that mainly start the conversations, it is women outside of the African American community, 110%, because women inside of our community never had problems attracting men inside of our community. And that leads me into my next point. So what African and Caribbean women that dominate colorism conversations don't understand is that we can clearly tell the difference between who is African American and who is not. It's different cultures, it's different mannerisms. You guys look different. You carry yourselves way different. And most people want to date within their own culture. If I'm being honest, no. Africans and Caribbeans and so on, they are not relatable to the African American community. You're just not. It's an entirely different culture. A lot of these women, for whatever reason, they like to complain about issues in the Black community. They're not complaining about issues within their own community. It's always issues within the Black community. If you pay close attention, it is the non-ADOS people that hyper fixate on race and skin color because they're trying to desperately be accepted into the Black community. It really is not African Americans or ADOS people that really fixate on those things as much as they do. Like back in the day, we thought that we took everyone as a Black person, right? And I think that's the mismatch that these colorism crybabies are having, is that, no, you're actually an outsider of the African American community. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, most people want to date within their own culture. So their biggest argument was that Black men didn't want to date them. Let's just be all the way for real. All of their talking points were about African American men, which I don't understand. Your own men, like for example, last time I checked, African men love them some African women, you know? Why are you looking into other people's cultures and trying to get them to want to kind of be with you? Like, that's a little bit abnormal. Just think about it. Like, really think about it. Imagine, like me, for example, I go into like the Mexican community and then I'm taking the microphone and talking about how their men are colorist because they don't want to date me. No, they're not colorist. They just prefer women within their own community. I think it's first nature for people to want to date within their own culture. I noticed that women outside of the African American community, such as African and Caribbean women, they love to pick and choose when they want to identify with Blackness and when they don't. And when it comes to crying about colorism, now all of a sudden they try to blend in with African American women and they don't really differentiate themselves. Someone else had also commented, like, what are you talking about? I see a lot of African American women also chiming in when it comes to colorism conversations. Well, yeah, that's because of the African and Caribbean women kind of dominating the conversations and convincing Black women that they should have the same problems, struggles, and insecurities that they have. In other words, these non-ADOS people in general, men and women outside of the Black community who are looking to desperately be accepted inside of the Black community are actually causing a lot of chaos, division, and destruction within the Black community. And that's why I'm pointing it out, because a lot of people don't even notice what's going on, you know? And so, yeah, of course, because of their influence, yes, now there is a lot of African American women who are also involved in these conversations because of the non-ADOS host. That's all the colorism conversation is. It's just insecure people with a microphone, and they have other factors that they should probably look into, because it's not your skin color to why you're repelling people. And then they're convincing Black women, oh, you should have these same insecurities too. If you really think about it, a lot of you guys aren't struggling with colorism. You're just allowing people to convince you that you are. That's like majority of African Americans that are in these conversations. You don't actually struggle. You're just easily influenced by these conversations. So that's something that I noticed. We're not going to get into the comment section and then decide, oh no, we're all Black. No, we're not. Because like I said, it was you guys that would look down on Black people and African Americans and separate yourselves. So I think we've just came to a point where we're like, okay, you are different. Get out of our business. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't want to hear any crocodile tears. I don't care if you're feeling some type of way. On my channel, I am always holding African American women accountable 24/7, and they take it like a G. But whenever I step outside of that and I like to hold other communities accountable, they're always crying and in their feelings, and I don't care. I truly don't care. You guys are very critical of African American people, so now I'm going to criticize you. All I do is respond to what I see. I don't start conversations. I'm ending it. So yeah, that's just something that annoys me, because I feel like African women and Caribbean women, they like to give women in my community things to be insecure about when it's really just their insecurities. They should probably go date men within their own culture, because the men in their own culture, I just said this, they love their own women. They do. Because African American women never had problems attracting African American men. So that's why I'm going back all the way back to the root on who is the ones that are starting, running, and dominating these colorism conversations, okay? So it's something for you to think about. No, I don't apologize. Everything that I said is a matter of fact, and I know it's going to trigger a lot of people, but guess what? I don't care. So yeah, what they're not realizing, and I will repeat it again, just so you understand, you guys look different to us. Most people, their first nature, they're not going to step outside of their comfort zone, okay? I know you guys be trying to blend in, but we can clearly tell the difference. There's a huge difference between African Americans and like Africans and Caribbeans and so on. So I think if Black American men are not paying them any attention, right? That's probably why. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to dive deep into it. But most people are just naturally, organically attracted to their own culture. You guys are outside of the culture. Okay? And if you're mad at that statement, well, I remember back in the day, we used to always say, oh, we're all Black. It was you guys that kind of just, separated yourself, and okay, fair enough. And we respected that. So here we are. I can already feel some annoying person in the comment section that is going to play oblivious and then push their belief systems onto other people with this, well, why does this have to be about men in the first place? Because you guys have made these colorism conversations about men in the first place, and specifically about Black African American men. So now that I am continuing and finishing the conversation, let's not act dense in my comment section, okay? And besides that, you don't get to police what I talk about. You guys do this under every video, and I'm not gonna stop talking about what I want to talk about. So you're not gonna police my language, okay? All right, I'm glad we have that understood. So the last comment I wanna bring up is this commenter on my page from when I posted my community tab and I said like Africans and Caribbeans are dominating the colorism conversation. She said, I noticed it too. When I was introduced to the colorism topic, I was confused when I saw girls like Chaima, Iloho, and Mayowa complaining about colorism. And on top of that, they mimic the mannerisms of Black American women when they're complaining about Black American men. Exactly. Just looking at them, I could tell they rebelled against their parents a lot because no African parent will be happy seeing their daughter is making a living off of complaining about men being loud and wearing long lashes. So I'm gonna pause you right there. Thank you, girl, because that's a great point. I think that's why they feel comfortable coming into the African American community and hosting these conversations, because they know dang well they can't do that in their own communities. For the reasons that I say on my channel, you look ridiculous. Like, you look a fool. What are you doing? Why are you talking about this? I think that their community does have a little bit more structure, order, and discipline. And their communities would never allow for them to host those types of conversations in their community. And so they go into the Black community and try to host those types of conversations. But yeah, anyway, she continues on, and my subscriber said, like, my parents want me to go to school, get straight A's, go to medical school, become a doctor, and find a partner who is also from my culture and successful. Even when I told my dad about colorism, he just said, I don't want you worrying about that kind of nonsense. I didn't come to this country for my daughter to worry about having a boyfriend. Saying this as a first-generation Ghanaian American who's in high school. Thank you for being honest. She was able to see where I was coming from without feeling attacked, and she even shared her personal story. I appreciate your insight because, yeah, I don't think that these Africans and these Caribbeans are able to host conversations like this in their community. I think their own culture would look at them crazy. And so that's why they come into our culture and try to convince our women to be insecure about things that they really don't need to be insecure about. So that wraps up that. I do want to point out that I have spoke to African American men as well, and they say that they noticed the same exact thing in other communities on YouTube. Like Fresh and Fit is one example. You have these non-ADOS people kind of just dominating in ADOS spaces and conversations. And they know dang well they can never bring that energy to their own community. So like cowards, they come to our community with that mess. Okay? And we are tired of it. And I'm gonna need more people to call this out and start speaking on it. So yeah, I will catch you guys soon. Hopefully with different videos. I am so happy I got this out of my system, man. Because I was hesitant on posting this, but I said, forget it. You guys are going to be mad regardless. So, hey. All right, guys. Have a blessed day, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye.